friends, what's up and welcome to my channel. So friends, today's topic of discussion is Joseph Conrad's The Secret Sharer. So friends, again this video is a requested video, so thank you so very much for requesting this. So in this session I'm going to discuss the full summary of The Secret Sharer, okay? Friends, as The Secret Sharer is a short story, so that's why it's not lengthy. That's why you can easily read this whole short story. If you don't have the book, then you can download PDF ebooks, okay? Friends, actually this short story The Secret Sharer was written in 1909 and then it was published in 1910 in the Harper's magazine. But this short story was published in two parts. The first part of this story was published in the August edition of Harper's magazine and the second part was published in the September edition of the Harper's magazine. Okay, so now let's start discussing the summary. So in The Secret Sharer, Joseph Conrad shows the journey of an unnamed young captain of a ship. Actually, the young captain was new to that ship. Actually, he joined 2 weeks ago. And because that captain was new to that ship, that's why he felt a kind of communication gap between him and his crew members. So the story opens with the captain who is looking outside from the deck of the ship, which remains still and anchored in the mouth of Mainam River, which was situated in the Gulf of Siam, now that is called Gulf of Thailand. So the ship was remained still because there was no wind, okay? So it was waiting for a favorable wind to sail out from this place, okay? There he saw another ship anchored in one of the nearby island shores. Friends, in the later part of this short story, you will find that the young captain or the captain of this present ship befriends with one crew member of that ship which he just saw, okay? So after seeing that ship in one of the nearby island shores, then he joins his crew for supper in the below deck. As I said before that, the captain was new to that ship, that's why he felt quite disconnected from his crew members and that's why he tries to communicate with them. And in his attempt of doing so, he told his crew members that he just saw a ship. And thus he asks his crew that whether they know anything about that ship or not. Then his chief mate and his second mate of that ship told him that they also heard about that ship. Preferably the ship is also waiting for a favorable wind to sail out. Okay. Then after having the supper, being a captain of the ship, the captain takes the duty to watch the movement of the wind until 1 o'clock. Okay, so it's really a big deal for a captain because generally the crew members take this type of duty of watching over the movement of the wind, but here in order to build a kind of communication with the crews, the captain takes this duty, okay? And the captain also in his mind thinks that from 2 weeks the crew has done lots of hard works for the ship, so it will be good to allow them to rest, okay? So from this point it is clear that the captain is very generous. Then the captain, while watching the movement of the wind, he was walking in the ship. Then the captain sees a rope ladder which was hanging in the water. Actually, rope ladders are used in a ship in order to get into the water from the ship or in order to get someone up in the ship. But the captain was shocked to see the rope ladder hanging because that time it was not necessary to hang a rope ladder because that time there were no use to get into the sea or to get in someone from the sea. And now comes the turning point because in the rope ladder he saw a naked man whose name was Leggett, who has been swimming for hours and that's why he decided to take rest by holding the ladder of that ship. So the captain was quite shocked to see that naked man and then he allows him to come to the ship. Okay, so after this, captain gives Leggett a grey sleeping suit. And the most interesting thing is that the captain is also wearing the same sleeping suit. Okay. After this, in captain's stateroom, Leggett started to tell his story that how he came to this ship. So then Leggett told that he is the chief mate or first mate of the nearby ship which was called Sephora. Friends, this is the same ship which the captain saw in the nearby island shores few hours ago. So according to Leggett, when Sephora ship hit bad weather, then the captain of that ship remained uninterested or reluctant to maintain it, and then being a first mate or chief mate of that ship, Leggett tries to maintain it. And after this, another crew member who doesn't like Leggett that much, he tries to attack Leggett or a kind of humiliate Leggett or tries to make a quarrel with Leggett, and that's why they had a fight, and that's why in that fight the crew member died. So it is obviously a matter of crime, right? So that's why the captain of Sephora locked Leggett in a room so that Leggett cannot escape, and when they will reach their destination, the captain can hand it over Leggett to the law. Okay, so after listening Leggett's story, the captain of the present ship, means the young captain, finds many similarity with Leggett, and he, in his mind, calls Leggett as his double, and thus the captain makes the decision to help Leggett. And in his attempt of doing so, the captain hides Leggett in his stateroom so that no one can find him. So after this, Leggett again continues his story, that he was locked in that room almost 7 weeks, and when after 7 weeks Leggett escaped from his locked room because the steward who brought food for him forgot to lock the room. Okay, so after this he escaped. Though after his escape, many boats of that ship tries to find him, and the ship also tries to find him by anchoring, but they cannot able to find Leggett. So after this, the captain told a little about himself to Leggett, and then he told Leggett to take rest. And it is at this point the captain in his mind regards Leggett as the secret sharer of his life. Actually, as Leggett commits a crime, that's why it is quite dangerous for the captain to reveal Leggett's identity or Leggett's story to another crew members or to another person. Okay, so that's why the captain knows that he has to keep this secret, and that's why he regards Leggett and Leggett's story of life as the secret self as well as the secret sharer of his life. Okay, so after all these things, the captain Archibald, who was the captain of Sephora ship. Sephora ship means the ship from which Leggett escaped. So the Sephora ship's captain name is Archibald. Okay, so Archibald came to talk to the captain of the present ship about the missing Leggett. At this point, the two captains of two ships have a conversation, and they sit in the cabin next to the captain's stateroom so that Leggett can hear their conversation, because Leggett was hiding in the captain's stateroom. So then Captain Archibald told the whole incident of Leggett and Leggett's escape to the young captain of the present ship. Young captain was also very nervous because he knows that Leggett is in this ship. That's why he didn't argue with Archibald, and after listening to Archibald, the captain was to show Archibald every part of the ship. Okay. After Archibald leaves, the young captain of the present ship and Leggett started to talk in a whispered tone so that no one, including any of the crew members, the steward who was cooking outside, listened to them. And it is at this point a voice tells captain that they can start sailing now because the wind starts flowing. So it's a good time to sail out. So then the young captain told Leggett to hide in the bathroom of the captain's stateroom so that no one can see him. Okay. Then the captain took the charge of the ship, and thus because of the good flow of the wind, the ship sails out. Okay. So then after a few incidents, Leggett told the captain that he has to leave this ship before the ship get landed to another shore. Because if anyone can catch Leggett, then they will surely hand it over Leggett to the laws, and the law will surely execute him because of his crimes. After they sail out the ship from that place, in order to land Leggett in one of the nearby shores, the captain ordered the ship members or the crew members of the ship to change the direction of the ship. But changing the direction of the ship would be very dangerous for the ship as well as the ship members. So though at first time the ship members were reluctant, but then they started to move the ship close to the island shore. Then after a few circumstances, when there comes a time of Leggett to leave the ship, then the captain gives him 3 gold coins and his floppy white hat. Okay, so then Leggett secretly leaves the ship with the help of the hanging rope ladder. Okay. Then a tension knocks in the mind of the captain that moving the ship towards the shore would be dangerous for the ship as well as the crew also. That's why after Lagar's leave, the captain again orders to change the ship direction, and thus they sail back the ship from the shore. Then the captain seemed quite worried about Leggett. He was thinking that whether Leggett is safely reached to the shore by swimming or not. By thinking this, he watches the white hat which the captain has given to Leggett. And thus, with this, the captain continues to think about Leggett. He was thinking that how an unknown man or an unknown man's story of life becomes the secret of the captain's life. And with this, the captain also thinks about Leggett's destiny. That Leggett perhaps will be free in one new land with a new life. And with this type of thinking, the story ends. Okay. So friends, this was the summary of The Secret Sharer. Hope you liked this one. So thank you so much for watching this video.